Hello and welcome to Rolling with Reviews. I'm Will, and with me is the peeps on the other side of my die,
Sarah.
And today we're doing a review of Rolling Realms. Sarah, why don't you tell us a little bit about this game?
All right, Rolling Realms is a roll and write featuring mini games based on various board games. Whew, that's a mouthful.
Yes, why do we get it though?
We got it because we were browsing through Stonemaier Games' website. We were looking for some expansions for Wingspan and My Little Scythe, and we saw this existed. It totally rolled under my radar because I guess I wasn't paying much attention to what was going on all of last year that he developed this. But seeing that it was a roll and write, that's right up our alley, and it looked really interesting. The fact that it was based on various Stonemaier Games board games, I was just really interesting.
Yeah, and he developed it out in the open too.
Yeah.
In fact, he wasn't even planning to print the game.
Nope. People just begged him. He had just done it as a free print and play for 2020 to help keep himself sane and everybody else, and play it with as many people as possible. And enough people begged him to print it, and I'm glad he did, so that we actually got a chance to get it.
Speaking of glad, why don't we go right into why
Yes.
we like the game?
Oh, the rules are so simple. This is so easy to teach because you roll dice, you're going to make a decision and gain resources, and that's it. But the complexity...
Yes, the complexity comes from the different realms that are in the game. Each realm is represented by a card, and on a round you have 3 in front of you. So they'll interact from game to game, from round to round, very different, making it just this incredibly unfolding complexity that's still simple to teach because the commonality comes from the resources. The resources will act the same in every single realm based on how you use them. It's just how you get them and how you score points will differ with the cards.
Right. So that also then brings up that the replayability is really high because right now I want to say there's 12. I want to say 12.
11.
11, that's right.
There's 12 because the Terra Mystica promo.
Yeah. So there's 11 in the box, and Will's referencing to the fact that there is a Terra Mystica promo or pack. I guess they're not promos because each one is a pack that you need for all 6 players, and he's planning to do more. So not only is there just immense replayability in here because you're only going to use 9 of the 11 realms within the box, but then there's going to be expansions to do more on based on other board games that other people designed.
Yes.
So just that variability, this game is going to have a really, really long life. Plus the fact that you can play it with more than 6 people if you get more copies of the game, and you could play it online. I mean, in terms of using Zoom or whatever to play it, as long as everybody has a copy of the game. So that makes it a really good thing in my book.
Yeah, I think the only thing that's different is for the solo play, because the solo play has you playing like a mini golf game where there are requirements that you have to fill, and you use the cards to play that. So that's the only thing I can think of that's actually different for a player count.
True, for a player count. Otherwise, this is very much player neutral in terms of how many people are playing, because it's multiplayer solitaire. There's absolutely nothing that you are competing over, because there are some games that try to do that in the roll and write genre, where there's one aspect that you're competing about, whoever got the most or whatever. This game doesn't have that at all, but I'm glad because there's so much going on here that I'd hate to have to also pay attention to what everybody else is doing, because there's already too much that I need to figure out what I'm doing right here in front of me.
Yes.
I think the other thing that we really liked is the fact that it does give you a taste of each of those board games. And I mean, not obviously the full experience.
No.
But a little bit.
Yeah, Jamie has a very good concept of he'll see a board game, he'll play it, and he'll hit right the middle experience. And somehow he's taken that, extracted it, and put it into a mini game.
Right.
Because each one I can see shades of the larger game, because we've played many of the larger games.
Yeah, I think there's only a couple that we haven't played. One of them we own and the other one not yet, and we're not sure because this may not be the best game for us. But we've played almost all the games that these this game total encompasses.
Yeah, so we can definitely see it and go, oh yeah, that was when that type of thing happened. I could see where you get to this experience. So having that little bit of taste is almost like a sampler box of chocolates, but this is board games. So you open it up and you have little tastes. It's like, okay, maybe I will look into game X because this is giving me something I really like.
And then I think the last thing that we really enjoyed is, even though this game is multiplayer solitaire, the scores are so close. And because this game uses decimals, we've actually had differences in scores of like 0.2 points. And that's just like, I don't know, for me, but just mind-blowing of, oh my God, I won by 0.2. It's not just, oh, I won by a point. I won by 0.2 of a point. It's just crazy.
And I know that could probably scare some people thinking like, oh, there's going to be complex math in this. No, what it is when you score at the end of the round, you score up all your main points, and then any resources left over are worth 0.1 of a point, so 1/10. You just add those up.
Yeah, because over the course of 3 rounds, those little 0.1 points add up.
Yes, and hence why I lost by 2 pumpkins.
Yeah.
Now, what, if anything, do we dislike about the game?
Well, this may be particular to me, but it might also affect other people who have small hands. I have a love-hate relationship with the dice. They are big and chunky, and that's a good thing for visibility of seeing across the table. But for me, I found them really hard to roll. And so I was rolling them individually, and that worked okay. I also felt like they kept rolling the same numbers. But I think that was just my imagination. So you can check out our Rolling with 2 video. We do talk about other accessibility issues, and some of them could be that the dice might be difficult for some people, but they might be good for some people. So it's kind of a mixed bag there.
Yeah. Ultimately, it just came down to minor gripes of, well, this isn't so easy to read, or this isn't easy to see. Or...
There's some accessibility issues with the white text at the top of these cards are kind of hard to read, but all of that's in the rule book. So these are very relatively minor complaints. I think the only other thing I had was the way the scorecard is for tracking the numbers you use each round, or the numbers rolled each round, plus the scores. I wish the score track had been above, because when I write in numbers, I tend to rest my hand on the bottom, and that tends to wipe away my scores. So that can be a little frustrating. So what I do is I just use one card for the 2 of us. Again, it's just since we're 2-player playing this, we use one card to track the numbers, and then each of us have our own card for tracking our scores, and that makes it so I'm not accidentally rubbing away my scores and be like, well, we have to play the whole game over because I have no idea what I scored.
You get some cards set aside, no touchy.
No touchy. So as long as you're playing, less than the max capacity, or just use a piece of paper and write it down separately so that you're not accidentally rubbing it away. But that's just a minor graphic design issue, but that can be easily overcome through, again, paper. If you are playing a full 6-player game, just use a piece of paper.
So are we ready for ratings?
I believe... Oh, the only other thing is for you and me, there is a lot of erasing to do. This is the card that tracks all your resources. So this is unique to a 2-player game, and also for me helping Will with the accessibility of it. I felt like there was a lot of erasing because there's these and 3 cards you're using each round, and you're erasing everything every round. So some people might feel that it's a lot of erasing to do. I felt that way, but again, it could just be compounded because I'm erasing my cards as well as your cards.
Yeah. Of course, thinking about it, the alternative is you have all these different stacks of paper, and with each pad of being a realm, and then they'd go down at different rates because you don't use all the realms
all the time
in a game. I mean, even with a game with 11 realms just in the box, you're only using 9 of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, I'm not suggesting that having paper pads for each realm is any type of alternative, because this game would be too expensive at that rate. Having them cards is fine. I just want to warn people, if you don't like doing a lot of dry erasing, this game might irritate you. So hopefully you're playing with other people and just,
make them do it.
Make them do it. Say you get to pick the next game we play or something like that.
Yeah. So, When it comes to ratings, we each have 1d6 worth of ratings to give. 1 is low, 6 is high. We give a number and a reason why. Then we add the two numbers up to see what it rolled for us. Sarah, what did Rolling Realms roll for you?
It rolled a 6. Even with my minor complaints with the dice, the visibility, and all the dry erasing, I just absolutely love the puzzle that's in this game. The way the realms come in, and you've got different realms and they interact differently, and it's just that challenge. I love that challenge. You never have enough dice rolls. You never can do everything you want, and that darn dice just won't roll that one number that you really need. But that's a good frustration, and it means that I'm really engaged in the game, and I just really like that. I also like that I actually like that it's multiplayer solitaire, that I don't have to worry about that one aspect that we're going to have to compare at the end of the game of, did I do enough of this or not or whatever. So for me, I like that I can really just focus in on what I'm doing in front of me, and I don't have to worry about anybody else until the end of the game when we compare scores, and then we can see who did it the best.
Yes, especially when it comes to a puzzle.
Yes.
You definitely don't want to have someone coming in there and like knocking all your toys around.
Yes.
Because you set everything up perfectly, and this jerk comes along.
Right.
With their ability.
I also really like that this game can be played with an infinite number of players, assuming you have enough copies of the game to play, because there's no limitation on the player count. So yes, the box only goes up to 6, but you get 2 boxes, or if you're playing online with through Zoom or whatever, the other people have their copy, you have your copy, and all you need to know is one person has to roll the dice and know what they rolled, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
So that's everything.
So for me, I was completely convinced that I would give it a 5, but every time I thought about it, and the thing that I pointed to is like, oh, it's because of this. I'm like, no, it makes sense that happens that way. So it gets a 6 from me.
Yeah.
This game is light enough to be a filler. It's heavy enough to be the main course.
Yeah.
It's easy to teach, but also very complex in how it comes together. It's a great advertisement tool.
Yes.
And it just works on so many levels. Plus, the fact that we're already seeing a promo to expand the game in the same year it came out gives me very high hopes that will be a trend, and this game will just explode exponentially when it comes to how you expand it. Even if it's just one pack for one game, it's because that then mixes in with all the other games you currently have in every realm.
Right.
So yeah, it's a 6.
Yeah, and if that doesn't do it for you on the future of this game, there are fan-made realms in the forums on Board Game Geek. Some of them are more balanced than others. I'm probably of the opinion I'm going to wait. Maybe Jamie will work with some of those the people who created those with the original designers of those games, and maybe some of those will become official. That's what I'm hopeful. Jamie's very good at working with the community to, make good games, because that's what this is. This is a community. I mean, he designed it, don't get me wrong. Of course he designed it, but the community helped him develop it in terms of just playing it, giving him feedback, and this is it's pure gold in my opinion.
Yes. So this game, 12 out of 12,
yes.
Credit us. It's just absolutely fantastic, and I definitely recommend checking it out. Is this available beyond the champion level? Because
yes, it's
okay.
fully available now, at least as far as I know. Because yes, there was that period.
Limited.
Yeah, there's a limited period where just the champion subscribers to Stonemaier Games could get it, but I'm pretty sure it should be out there. If it's not, it will be soon.
Yeah, because I actually felt bad. We had picked it up early because we were at the champion level, and we were just raving about this to friends who aren't, and they're like, I can't get it. And I'm like, what do you mean? It was available there. And I was like, well, I see the entry, but it's only locked behind it. I was like, oh, right. I don't mean to rub it into your face, but you really should be a champion and grab that because this is. And so they were just counting down the days before.
Yeah, I will. I
available.
forgot to look before we recorded this video, but probably soon, if not already, by the time you watch this video, it will be available. And like I said, if not, it will be soon.
Yeah, and if you are, grab the promo for the Terra Mystica.
Or any other promos that might come out. He's not announcing too many ahead of time, but I mean, like Terra Mystica just kind of popped up and it was there.
Yeah. Well, heck, you could download some of the forum posts of people who've made some of these games and try it out for yourself.
Yep.
All right, that will do it for us here at Rolling With Reviews. If you want to get a hold of us in any way, you can check us out on the various social media sites at...
Would be Rolling With Two. That's TWO. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and of course, check us out on YouTube. Please like and subscribe.
And I've been Will.
And I've been Sarah.
And we've been Rolling With Reviews.